Hi, I'm Judy Shearwaters. Welcome to my channel. Here I bring you author interviews of ordinary people who had a story they needed to share with the world. I also bring you short little writing prompts so that you can get your stories written down for your generations to come. Because you know what? You have a story to tell, so let me help you tell it. I If you are one of the new viewers and you just happened on my channel today, welcome. If you are one of my faithful followers, I apologize profusely that I have been away from YouTube for several months. I've had some medical issues, and you know what? Life happens. And it's all of that life that we live along the way that creates the person we are today. So I also apologize to many authors who have who have wanted to work with me, and I've had to put their books to the side for the time being. But now I'm back, and hopefully we'll be able to help many more authors, as I have Rick Brooks. Today, I want to bring you an interview with a new and dear friend. A writing buddy of mine referred Rick to me back several months ago, and he and I worked closely together to bring his book to life, Payball. I want to read his bio to you before we get into the interview. Rick never thought he would write a book, but he found he had a burning message to deliver to the parents of today. After years of coaching baseball and mentoring hundreds of youth, Rick recognized that many young players were being drawn away from the fun of Little League play and into a year-round baseball culture that adversely affected both their physical well-being and potentially their mental health. Rick gives baseball instruction to kids of all ages a couple nights a week and also enjoys mentoring kids who just need a little extra help in life. His hobbies include fishing, hunting, and involvement with Christian men's groups. Rick and his wife live in the Texas Hill Country. They have 2 children, 7 grandkids, 2 great-grandkids, and another on the way. Rick has been a delight to work with. And now I would like to introduce you to Rick Brooks. Hi, Rick.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thanks for hopping on with me today. It's been a joy working with you and your book. So I've already introduced you to my YouTube channel, and we're just going to get started here asking you a few questions. Tell me what encouraged you to write your book, Payball?
Yeah, Judy, this was something that I've been pondering for a number of years. And I finally got to the point that I had to get it out of my head and onto paper. And so um, it was a long process, but I'm really glad I got it done. And it appears to be something that has resonated with people throughout the youth baseball community.
Mhm. Tell us a little bit about your book.
Yeah, the book is basically a message to parents of young uh, kids that are coming up wanting to play youth baseball, and my experience with youth baseball has been from my past has been primarily a fun, healthy experience for young kids, but it's turned into something that's being driven by money primarily, and parents living vicariously through their kids, to the point where the fun has been taken out of the sport. And in any case where money becomes a driver, things begin to change, and the expectations that are being put on kids today are far too high. And we're seeing a lot of issues, not just with their performance issues, but all the way to mental issues with the kids when they can't meet the expectations of their coaches and parents.
Yeah. We kind of talked just a few minutes ago about how long it took us, you and I, working together to bring it to life. And we figured it was about 6 months, but we waited probably a month and a half or more for Little League to give us the go-ahead too, and to be able to use your name in your book.
Right.
But how long did it take you to actually write it out, even before you met me?
Oh, gosh, at least 6 or 8 months prior to that.
Okay.
But that was just a little bit at night along. It was not a everyday thing. But at first, not being an author was very challenging because I had no idea how to do this. I had a niece who helped me along, but once I learned how to develop a more of a I guess an outline, then I started pulling it together and it began to make sense. And then as you begin to help me, things begin to come into place. And uh, and then I wanted to keep writing, and then you obviously, had to um, remind me that at some point we had to stop because we could go on and on. But uh, so, all in all, it was probably a 1 year project to write 80 pages. Most people wouldn't probably understand that, but it was a challenge for sure.
And you got quite a few medical doctors and mental health doctors to endorse it, to give you testimonies about their experience with year-round ball, kids who are playing the year-round ball. What made you realize that you were going to need those in your
Yeah,
book?
yeah, Judy. As I started writing the book, I got about halfway through, and I recognized that my opinion I thought was valuable, and I still think it's valuable, but it's just my opinion. Once I recognized that, I felt, well, that probably if I could just get a handful of professional people like medical doctors, sports psychologists, college coaches, high school coaches, people who are seeing this day to day to day, then that would hopefully make a big difference in the not only the success of the book, but just people would have to take a harder look at that and not say, well, this is a guy, yes, he has 50 years experience in the game of baseball, but these people are seeing it firsthand every day. They're living it. Rick Brooks is just another guy. He's still involved with baseball, but these people are seeing it in their offices. Bringing the kids are coming in, the injuries, you know the problems associated with not being able to meet the expectations of the coaches, etc. And so that's what took a long time because meeting with these doctors and calling them and being able to get their approval, that took a very long time. But I really never thought I could get all of that done, but I did.
Good, good, good. Do you have a little section of the book that you could read that maybe shows that it is definitely a memoir? Memoirs are written in so many different forms and different fashions, and yours was, of course, based on your expertise in baseball. But tell us where it all began.
Yeah, so in chapter 3 of the book, my personal playing and coaching experience, I'll read from a little bit of that. My first introduction to baseball as a youth player transpired at the age of 6 as a bat boy on my aunt's softball team, which I can really still remember those days. Actually, there's a picture in the back of the book of me at that time. But also, my mom influenced my interest for the game of baseball because of her early days as a softball player. My dad was not athletic at all, but my mom was always pushing me to play. I started playing Little League baseball at the age of 7 at the Northeastern National Little League in Houston. And unlike the high cost to play baseball today, the cost in 1960 for me to play in the local Little League program was only about $20 in comparison today, which is thousands of dollars. And so my parents, they were able to pay the entry fee for my brothers and I, but I think my grandpa, as I remember, my grandpa Cannon, he actually paid the money, which we were never told that until later on. My parents really couldn't afford it. But and my brothers, I had an older brother and a younger, so we ended up sharing equipment because we couldn't afford this, this high price stuff that the kids have nowadays. So, back in those days, we had wooden bats and secondhand gloves, and the thing I know for sure, we did just fine with that. So I don't think the equipment is not going to get you where you want to be. And today, that's what parents actually believe that, and that's okay. But it was not needed, so we did just fine.
Okay. Thank you. And then we did talk about the testimonials and that and endorsements that the doctors wrote for you. Could you read one of those testimonials?
Yeah, sure. So Dr. Andrews is one of the top orthopedic doctors and founder of Andrews Sports Medicine Orthopedic Center in Birmingham, Alabama. Um, I, he was the one guy I was targeting because he was one of the pioneers of this Tommy John surgery that goes back 30 plus years. And, it was difficult to get in touch with him. I finally got a hold of his office, but and got approval to use what he had written to Major League Baseball some time ago. And reading from his notes, he said, I started following the injury patterns and injury rates in the year 2000. Andrew said, he said, back in those days, I did about 8 or 9 Tommy John surgeries per year in high school aged and younger kids. The large majority of Tommy Johns were at the major league level, then the minor league level, then college level, and then just a handful of high school kids. In today's situation, the whole thing is flip-flopped. The largest number is youth baseball today. They've surpassed what's being done in the major leagues, and that's a terrible situation, he says. Andrew says the obsession with velocity and spin at the youth level is having a devastating impact on arms and the game itself. These kids are throwing 90 miles an hour. Their junior year of high school, he says, the ligament itself cannot withstand that kind of force. We've learned in our research lab that baseball is a development sport. The Tommy John ligament matures at about the age of 26. In high school, the red line where the forces go beyond the tensile properties of the ligament is about 80 miles per hour. Andrews has met countless parents who think that if their sons have Tommy John at age 14 or 15, it will improve their chances of reaching the major leagues. It's just the opposite. Believe me, he says, when they get hurt early in their baseball career, they miss a lot of development, and the parents don't have a clue about how that affects their career and their ability to move up the ladder.
Wow. That's a
pretty powerful story.
Yes, powerful pack to your book. One thing I wanted to ask you is, how'd you come up with the book cover?
Well, my son was a big part of that. My son David, he also played baseball. He played at Rice University in Houston, and we were throwing around some ideas about what it needed to look like. And this you know, we had I had talked to many people about numbers and dollars spent and how much people were spending for this payball aspect of the game, and it was in the thousands of dollars a year that people are spending for the kids to play. So we came up with this idea of payball, and this cover with this baseball, kind of cut out with dollars coming out the top of it, and then obviously I sent it over to you, and you sent it out to a company, and they came out with this, which was pretty cool. The first draft of it looked really good to me, so we went with it. It didn't take long.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the cover. I really
Yeah,
do.
really nice.
Yeah. So how did it feel to get that first book in your hand? Oops. How did
Sorry.
it feel to get that first book in your hands?
Um, it was incredible. Not really knowing in the beginning what I was even doing, and getting pushback along the way, like Satan was working on me a lot on this deal, trying to say, this is really not worth you doing this. People are not going to listen to you, and I kept saying, no, I'm going to do it. I got to get this done. And so when I got it done, it was crazy. I mean, it was really great. And I think today, not really worrying about how many books are being sold, but I think it's over a couple of hundred books since we published it in late November. It's a pretty amazing, and I'm really thankful for it. I'm not sure that I could do it again, but it was. I think it's something that I will tell you this really quick. On Christmas Day, we opened to Christmas, and all the grandkids were here. My son and daughter-in-law bought this book for every one of their kids, and they opened it up, and so all of my grandkids have the book, and I think they wanted them to have it as just something to remember by, remember me by later on in life. So
That's awesome. I love that.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. So yeah, you were or you are we're probably about the same age, but to write your first book in your older days, and a lot of other authors, first-time authors are thinking about that too, writing their memoirs for their generations to come. So what advice would you give to those people?
Yeah, knowing what I know now, I think I think the from a writing standpoint, doing an outline in the early stages was something I missed, that part that I should have done early on, that would have helped me speed the process up somewhat. But other than that, I think you have to be transparent. I think you have to tell your story without worrying about what people think, because if you worry about, everybody would tell me, well, you can't say this, you can't say that. You're gonna throw these people under the bus, and they're gonna be upset and whatever, and you got to get over that. And in this particular case, I don't know. Not all books are the same, right? So in this case here, I think, and then you got to understand that I think that 80 pages to take a year, you wouldn't think that, but it's not. It's a long process. So
It really is. Yeah.
prepare yourself for a journey, and try to enjoy the journey, and not so much focus on the outcome at the end, because that's not going to be fun. So
That is great advice. Great advice. We have to enjoy the journey. As
mhm.
frustrating as it can be at times, we have
Yeah,
to. I remember trying waiting and waiting and waiting for Little League and emails and calls and all, but it was worth it. It was
yeah,
really worth it. And Little League liked the book, so that was a great
yeah.
endorsement there. So that was
In fact, Judy, I had a communication with a fellow at Little League this week, and he asked me to mail him a copy of the book.
good.
So
Awesome.
I'm doing that today.
Great, great. So where can people get a copy of your book?
Yeah. So all they need to do is to go on Amazon and type in Rick Brooks payball in the search box,
Mhm.
and it'll come right up. And you can get it in color or black and white. And then you can get it in ebook as well. But you may be able to get it just by putting in Rick Brooks or just payball. But if you put in Rick Brooks payball, it'll come up
Mhm.
easily. And I think as I look recently, I had 18 reviews. They've all been very positive.
Very good.
I've
Very
had I've had several people from 4 or 5 different states send me emails, and how I don't know how they got the book or how they even found out. I'm not sure, but anyway, that's where you can get it.
good, good. And it's important that when you read a book and you like it, always leave a review for that author. And I'm so glad you have 18 is a lot for just a couple months. So congratulations. Kudos to you. It's been a real joy working with you. And I feel as though I found a new wonderful friend in you. So
Yes. Thank you, Judy. You've been very tolerant of my uh, my I don't know what the word is. I mean, I've thrown, no pun intended here, but I've thrown hard balls at you many times, and you've caught them like you even know how to catch a ball. So you've reacted quite well. So
good, 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 good. All right, Rick. Well, you have a great day. Well, wait, before I say that, is there anything else you'd want my listeners to know that we haven't gone over?
um, no, I think um, you don't write a book to make a lot of money. I think,
True.
yeah. So don't don't wake up thinking you're going to be a millionaire and you're going to be published on whatever, and Fox News is going to start showing your book and this sort of thing. I guess it could happen, but and do it because you have something burning that's got to get out of your head out to, and don't worry about, it's a seed. You're planting a seed, and if a few people, can get a hold of it, and then you've done what you need to do.
Exactly. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Judy.
Enjoyed talking with you.
All right. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye bye.
You too. Thanks for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed hearing from Rick Brooks. He has a great message to give, especially those parents of some of great baseball players, little baseball players. Anyway, you see, memoir can be written in so many different forms, so many different ways to format a memoir. And I'm looking forward to seeing your memoir in print someday, real soon. So if you enjoy seeing videos like this, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Click that link and leave a message, leave a comment for Rick or for me. And I hope to see you back again soon because you need to write your memoir. You need to get it started today because every day matters and you have a story to tell. So don't forget, let me help you tell it. Thanks. Have a great day.